we're going to give you, if you watch this video right through, every exercise is explained within the time that it takes to do 3 reps of that exercise. So 1, 2, 3. You know, health, wealth, love. Once you got the health, wealth and love right, everything else is pretty much going well. So we're going to start off with a really simple personal training advice from somebody that's trained people, some of the world's best athletes, female bodybuilders actually, and lots of people for fat loss as well. Hope you enjoy the video and you get right to the end, because it's going to show you most of the exercises that are essential and fundamental for having a great physique. Enjoy the show. Walking, flexing, putting the weights on. Single arm side chest press, shoulders back and down, sit on an angle, pushing out and breathing out on the way forward. Machine shoulder press. Feet on the ground, shoulders back and down, take a deep breath in, exploding. Shoulder press, feet on the ground, shoulders back and down, taking a deep breath in, controlling the weight, breathing out down, 70% getting on the way, really good stretch, and slowly in those shoulder muscles. Really feeling the stretch on the way. All right, machine bench press. Feet on the ground, shoulders back and down, taking a deep breath in. Machine bench press, feet on the ground, on the way forward, back and down, getting a really good stretch as your arms press forward, back, squeeze the pecs in those pectoral as you areas. Bring it back, controlling the resistance on the way back. And getting a contraction on the way forward, controlling that stretch at the very top of the rep range, making sure that you really hold that contraction and then bring it back for a controlled stretch. Well done. Alright, again, getting an angle right, shoulders back and down, letting the stretch happen all the way through the pectoral on the side there, breathing out with the feet on the ground, letting all that power come from the ground up through to the chest and really contract the chest. Other side, shoulders back and down, feet on the ground, pressing, breathing forward, and as you breathe forward you get that good squeeze and you really stretch it on the way back. Control the squeeze and you'll feel it around this area. Alright, bench press baby, let's do it. Make sure you got a hat on. No, just kidding. So feet on the ground, shoulders back and down. Get your head above the bar a little bit, take the bar off, bring it down to your chest, shoulders back and down, feet on the ground, breathing in, breathing out on the way up, and that's how you do your bench press. Shoulder press, feet on the ground, shoulders back and down, breathing out, squeeze at the top of the rep range, and really get an awesome stretch on the way down. Controlling that stretch, make sure that's light enough to do so. Feet on the ground, let's go. We've got a incline dumbbell press for the bench press. Right, squeezing the pecs at the top, so your pectoral muscles, and make sure you're really stretching the pecs all the way down. That's your chest area. Controlling the stretch. It's all about the control of that stretch through the rep and really getting a stretch always. Make sure you control the stretch and make sure it's a really good stretch with these exercises. Feet on the ground, shoulders back and down, different angle view, although this is a fly, so chest fly, out wide, stretching that chest area, make sure it's a good stretch, and contracting on the way in. Alright, putting the weights back. Okay, let's do it. What do we got here? Dumbbell bench press, front view, bringing them right down to the chest, squeezing at the top, breathing out on the way up. That's how we like it. You can hear the birds chirping in the background. Make sure that your feet are on the ground and really feel the stretch. Okay, cable crossovers for the chest. Make sure you got different angles here. So stretch, contraction. It's as simple as that. Shoulders back and down, stretch, contraction, one foot in front of the other. That's how I like to do it. You may like to do it differently, although you change which hand goes over each time you do it. So push them down, down like that, come into the middle, find the middle section, get a good stretch right back, stretch, crossover, see how the hands are swapping? Alright, so these are 3 different exercises because we're changing the height of the rack. See, watch the rack gets dropped right down there. This is doing the lower part of the chest. Keep yourself excited, keep yourself happy. So these are scooping up. So we're scooping up the weights, getting a stretch on the way back, scooping it up with a squeeze in the middle. That's how we do it. And that's going to really get that area in between the chest there and underneath. Alright. We've got a rack. Basically it's a trapezius, so the muscles on each side of your neck. Just shoulders back and down, pull up and down. That's pretty much it. We've got a front view, because that was pretty quick. We go again. And this is throwing the weights up onto the rack. That's how we do it. There's nothing much to really speak about that one. It's just momentum holding it. That's a pretty advanced move actually. Okay, this is a bent over row on the rack. You get that angle as you can see there. It's going to save talking. Shoulders back and down, get a bit of an angle leaning forward and pull it into the back. Alright. Tricep extensions. Get the weights. Shoulders back and down. Squeeze the tricep on the way down and stretch the muscle all the way on the way up. Alright, straight armed lateral pull down. So that's 3 reps already. Shoulders back and down, feet wide, and feel that stretch on each side of your lat. Rope face pulls. These are for the rear delt, so the part of the back of your at the back of your shoulders, to make sure that the muscle gets done there as well. Shoulders back and down and pull it to your face. Okay, what we got here is bicep curls, cable bicep curls. Shoulders back and down, feel the stretch all the way down. Control that stretch and feel it all the way down as you really release that tension by just controlling it and really feel it. Make sure the weight's perfect. Okay, these are partial bicep curls. You saw that really quickly, just doing them partially, halfway, and then back down again. Alright, bench. So this is a seated incline bench, bent over row. It's just pulling up into the chair and feeling it all through the back there. Alright, so now we've got a bent over reverse fly on the incline, shoulders back and down, and get a squeeze at the top and let it stretch and control as much as you can on the way down. One armed pull, dumbbell pull-ups or pulls. So these are lateral raise basically. They're called a lateral raise. Your shoulders back and down, lean forward, put your hand on the rack and pull back and feel it up underneath your armpit area there where the lats are. Okay, this is very similar. Shoulders back and down, you're putting your feet there. Get a contraction, get a full stretch. Watch how I get that real, you're going to get that real stretch under there. Pull, let it pull forward and feel the muscle stretch right out and then contract it. That's it right there. Beautiful. What a demonstration. Well done. You can change the weight as you start to advance. You can actually change it through every set. You can go up heavier, you can go lighter, and you can just basically change as much as what you've got to change. Pulling back, getting a good stretch on the way forward there. Right there, stretch right there under that lat. Single arm, seated rows. Pulling back, feeling it right there. That's it, excellent. Okay, leaning back, seated row, one armed, leaning right back at the back of the bench, so you're actually off the bench itself, using the bench to prop you up. Just gets that full stretch. There it is, full stretch all the way. You can see that stretch, it'll stretch. Here it is, right here, look. One, full stretch all the way down the back. Single arm, seated rows. Look at that, stretch all the way down the back there. Beautiful. Really get that stretch in. That's amazing. Beautiful. Wonderful. That's what you're after. No trouble? No. Get rid of that. Fine about it. There's no trying to touch to you at all. Just breathe through. Be healthy. Alright. Wide bar seated rows. Feet on the ground, or feet perched on the platform there, shoulders back and down. Squeeze forward, lean forward, pull back, and get a stretch all the way forward, all through the back there, either side of the spine. Just where it's comfortable. There should never be any pain, it's just about where it's comfortable. Alright? There it is. Underhand seated row. Getting a full stretch there on the way forward, as you can see. There it is. All the way down each side of the back. And then leaning back and getting a good pull. So it gets the biceps and also gets underneath either parts of the arm, the trapezius. Oh, the lats, rather. Lats. That's right, so getting a good stretch on the way forward, pulling it back, getting a good contraction, squeeze, that's it. Really control that stretch. You can see where it would be stretching all the muscles down the sides of the back, either side of the spine, and underneath the arms there, the lats. It's going to give you that V taper. There it is. Alright, we've got a step here to put it on the foot area. Just gives us a little bit more stretch through our back because we're able to get further away from the pulley. So feet up on the little step there that we've propped up, make sure it's firmly placed. And you'll notice that the hand piece that we're using is close grip, so this hits a different area. This gets a different area on your body. It feels really good, so just give it a go. It's pretty much like the other pull exercise, it's just a different pulley adjustment. Okay, got the barbell here. Going to do some shoulder press. So shoulders back and down, and then just press it above the head basically. That's pretty much it. One foot in front of the other, and just keep it pretty taut. And then re-rack it. That's where I've gone back and re-racked it there. Walking like a real alpha. Okay, let's move on to your next exercise. These are trap raises, so just rolling back and forth basically with the dumbbells. There you go, that's 3. Alright, a different angle there, side on. You can see 1, 2, bring them, it's just rolling it over, shoulder forward, over back, back and front. Different angle again, forward and back, just getting that angle, just showing you a different angle of so that you get this right, because you're rolling it right back, right forward, like you're rolling it over something, over that apex at the top. Single arm, you can do it like that as well. Back and forth. There you are. Wonderful. Alright. Same exercise, just done with plates. 20 kilo plates. You can use whatever plates you like. Actually, it's not the same exercise. It's actually calf raises. There we go. So we're doing calf raises. Side on. Let's go. Up and down. That's pretty much it. Ideally, you put your toes on a step so that your heels can come down below where your heels are. Where your toes are. So you get a good stretch through there. Okay, so that's it. We'll just go over it again. Just hold the weights up on your toes, squeeze, and then get a good stretch on the way down. So ideally you're going to have some sort of plate that your feet are on so that you can actually get that good stretch. That's over 3. 1, 2, 3 reps. It takes 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps. So we did that pretty good for you. All right, let's move on. So we've got this lift here. I'm going to call it the life lift instead. So we basically have your bar. It's about 100 kilos on this one. It's pretty light for me. Anyway, so go up to the bar, get the bar close to the shins, let it roll up your shins. That's it. These are wide-legged life lifts. You can see my legs are pretty wide there. All right, that's it. That exercise really you should go and check out. This exercise you should check out a lot more on this exercise because it's not really straightforward. There's a lot more to it, although we're keeping it pretty basic. So you bring it up to your shins, put your feet on the ground, feel it through your heels, the weight, and then you bring it up your shins and up your legs. So you're keeping it as close to your body as possible, and your shoulders back and down, your abs are on, you're breathing out on the way up. That's how you do that exercise. So we're giving you a little bit more of an explanation for this because this is it's a dangerous exercise unless you do it properly. So see the angle, you get the angle right. It's like a scissor lift, you know. So you're having the scissor lift kind of thing happening. Shoulders back and down, pulling up, pushing down through the heels, getting that scissor lift, and holding your abs on really firmly around the waist there. Real firm. So what you've seen here is I've put the weight down all the way down. Sometimes I'll just bounce it. Generally just bounce it and go back up, but you can see it slow-mo there. Alright, on to the next exercise. Dumbbell. So you got the dumbbells in hand, right there. So what we're doing is we're doing side steps. So it's basically like doing a squat on one leg and you're squatting to the side. One side, then the next side. And just to even it out. And you get that stretch all the way down. Make sure you're stretching all the way down like that, see? All the way down like that. Get a real good stretch, okay? Because that's what it's about. That's stretch and control on the way down. That's it, stretch. See how they're really stretching it? It's like getting a good stretch. That's the whole point of this, is to stretch it so the little muscle fibers will actually tear just slightly, and then your body has to compensate for it. What it does, because it did not like what you went through, so when we're doing jumps in and out, it will actually start growing muscle. That's the whole point of it. So this one here, you put your hands to your temples, like around about where your ears are, jump in and out. This one here, a guy called Josh Lee taught me this. It's just intense. It's an intense exercise. Alright, so this is for the fronts of your legs. This is your quadriceps. Shoulders back and down, grabbing onto the handles if you like, and just squeeze on the way up. Ideally, do not lock out to the point where you go your knees. Just go maybe 97%. That's what I'd recommend. And just hold the tension in your quadriceps, which is the front of the muscle, which is the front of the leg. The muscles, the front of the legs. There's 4 muscles there. They go from left to right. And just really stretch it. Let it stretch all the way down. Like that's stretching. That's where you're going to feel it. You can do a static hold, and then you can just let it stretch all the way down. And that's really effective tool to go between static holds and also do some partial reps, do some partials, and just keep the blood pumping. That's the whole point of it, is just keep that blood pumping like there. Really enjoy it. Okay, feel that behind the knees. Alright, so we're sitting on the chair again, just looking at the same exercise sideways in the side view. So contraction, here we go. That's it, contraction, and slowly letting it down, feeling Make sure you feel this all the way from the knee to the hip. Otherwise, if you start to feel a pinch or something like that, stand up, stretch the muscles or something. This is the partial thing. See those partials? It's going to really pump the blood in. It's awesome. It's amazing. It really starts, you can feel it. And if you just keep doing it, you're going to pump those legs full of blood so much that you're going to have the tiny little muscle tears, which is good. That's the whole point of it, because you're overcompensating with the growth. So you've got to have plenty of days rest. You might just do 1 or 2 days where you train your full body, and then have 5 days or so, off where you're recovering, because you're only just got to push the muscle hard enough where you're pushing it past your limit in what you would usually train or what you usually use that muscle for. And sufficient rest means sufficient growth, muscle growth, and that's what you're after. Okay, so considering you're pushing it to the limit, basically, is the point. You're gonna, you're gonna have to hear this for you to recover properly. If you really like to recover well, for the men, you got to stop ejaculating so much, because, for every drop of semen, it takes 40 drops of blood, and it could take days and days, or it takes however long it takes to create that semen, and that semen's actually meant to re-soak through the body and then become the building blocks of your body and your brain. So instead of ejaculating and having too many orgasms, back it right off. If you have 30 days off or 40 or so days off of ejaculation, ideally you just do semen retention, where you do not ejaculate unless you're having a baby, or unless you just have ejaculation free sexual intercourse, if you can build it up and do Kegels. As for the men, and for the women, it's the same thing. The fluids for the women, they're sexual fluids. They're actually life force, they're vitality. So it's a great idea to have what's called sexual continence and back off of the constant orgasms, actually really, because that explosive orgasm takes a lot of energy. And if you're building muscle and you'd really like to build a good physique, a healthy brain, then that would make sense that you're going to have to recover properly. And if you're doing less of what causes you to have to recover more and put you in the negative, you're better off being in the positive, which means, no stimulation of your brain that is sexual to do with photos or, let's say, movies or anything like that. Your brain should not be, there should be no stimulation sexually in regards to photos that are not actually real people. You know what I'm saying? So your only sexual stimuli should be when you're actually having real sexual intimacy, actually. And then you should aim to retain your seed as a man, and the woman should aim to retain her fluid, instead of, I'm going to be just straight to it, if she's somebody that has a female ejaculate, which is squirting, just going to be mature here, then it's better off that she does not do that, because that's her sexual vitality. Her body has to recover. So you do what you like, although I really highly recommend having sexual continence as well as, training, because if you're recovering your sexual fluids all the time because you're wasting it, that's your vitality. You've got to stop wasting your vitality. There's nothing that can parallel, or there's nothing that is as valuable as your sexual vitality. Stop wasting it. It's not, I'll get it back later. No, just stop doing it. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm giving you a real warning, save your vitality and increase it. Alright, so you'd like to have a healthy spirit? Well, guess what? Urine therapy has something in there urine has something called the spirit molecule. So your own spirit molecule. The more you keep on looping your urine, the stronger your spirit is going to be. Now think about it. Where else have you got to go than where your spirit is? So if you like a strong spirit, isn't it? It's an amazing fact, isn't it? Or just do your research on it, because it's been said to have this property in it, which is actually from your own, and it's perfectly distilled and created from your own body perfectly for you. So if you're on medication, I'm not going to tell you to get off medication, but if I was on medication, I'd get off it, because I'd get off it and I'd start doing urine therapy. I'd even find out, I have not found out about this yet, although it might be something that's good, is to get someone else's urine, because apparently Asians get the young children's urine and drink it because of the stem cells in that, and it's really young and healthy, right? So if somebody's not on medication and they've got good healthy pee, maybe that'll help you to get off medication. Does that make sense? Because it's really about, it's your own natural herbal remedy. It's phenomenal. Okay, more talk on urine therapy. You got to listen to this. The next thing is, you know, I'm going to give you some advice on, you know, how to train your body. You might go what's called full body exercises, although there's another therapy you can use. It's called urine therapy, and that's actually very, very valuable because it has stem cells in it and it helps you rebuild tissue. So, you know, think about it, tissue, brain, body, you know, stem cells are highly valuable. If you pee in a bottle and put it in your cupboard, for example, for 21 days, the stem cells in your pee or urine actually is about 140, and then the stem cells turn into about I think apparently 140 million in 21 days, and in months, 4 months or so, it can actually be 1 billion. So apparently stem cells, you know, it's amazing to be able to get stem cells. And what people will say, you know, what you're going to save to get stem cells, it's rebuilding your body while you're young. You may as well, while you're young, get these stem cells, even store some of this pee and then drink it. It tastes disgusting, although, gosh, you know, when I've been cycling my own urine, and you can do it, cycle your own urine in the morning, like as you first get up, and you're getting that first dose, because that's a really strong, good dose, and that gives you stem cells, and you're looking at recovering your body and your brain. So think about it, it's actually something that can help. All right, so it's called urine therapy. Check it out. And definitely, you know, if you're smoking, stop. If you're drinking alcohol, stop drinking alcohol. If you know, so I only and do not rebel against what I'm asking. See me as a friend and see me as telling the truth. There's no reason to say other than the truth here. So check out urine therapy. It's got all kinds of hormones in it. It's the most mineral rich thing you can drink, apparently. So it's so healthy for you. It's extremely healthy, and it's your own batch. If a horse gets bitten by a snake, it starts making anti-venom, and guess where they take the anti-venom? Out of its urine. So same thing for you. You know, your batch out of your urine is actually for you to drink. Who said that you had to pee your urine out in the toilet? That's a waste. So as you build it up, it gets stronger, it gets stronger, and every time you pee, it's a better dose because it becomes stronger, and you've got apparently something called plasma in there, which is, it's basically the most filtered blood you could possibly get. So it's the cleanest blood. And if your sperm, it takes a lot of drops of blood to make sperm, for example, for the men, just drink your urine because it's helping you. Surely that's going to help. Does that make sense? Do your own research on this. Anyway, lots of love. Alright, so that's some basic overview of some exercises there. Got some legs, you got some chest, you got some back exercises, you got some biceps, got some triceps, you got some shoulders, you got your calves. It's most areas. So that's going to be a good start for you. And pretty much, you know, just start with that. And then if you've got some questions, ask some questions. Although make sure that, you know, you warm up a little bit beforehand, and just, you know, stretch your muscles, and be drinking adequate water. You know, if it's 2, 3, 4 liters of water, make sure you're drinking enough water throughout your session, before the session ideally. And if you're going to do full body training, my advice to you is to do, you know, if you got 2 or 3 hours, just do the full body in one go, and then have 4 or 5 days rest. Because if you're pushing each muscle to the point where, you know, to start off with, where you're actually pushing it past its limit, or pushing it past its nominal use, the body's then going to say, well, I'm going to have to recover, and then you're going to get more growth. The thing is, the whole body is recovering. It's not just like one muscle, or this, your legs or your chest. So you may as well pump it to the point where you really push your entire body, and then you have 4 or 5 days rest, however long it takes you to recover. And then the entire body's going to grow back muscle, instead of just doing like back one day and then your body's recovering, and then you do legs the next day and then your body's recovering, and then you're doing chest and then your body's recovering. Like, your body's always recovering then. You're always in recovery mode. So think about how you could do the full body and then recover all of the muscles, and then that way, as you're doing the full body, you've got 4 or 5 days where you've got full recovery, which means you're going to build muscle in every area of the body, rather than just doing, like, you know, chest one day, back one day, legs one day, and then your body's always in recovery mode. So take advantage of the recovery, and, you know, drink lots of water, lots of protein, get plenty of fats, you know, whether it's MCT oil, coconut oil, whatever it is. But if you're going to push it, you know, really make sure that you're getting good advice. Push it to the limit, and then what you're doing is you're getting the good stretches in as well. So make sure you stretch the muscles. The first time you start to exercise like this, you're going to really feel it. Although, you know, do not push to the point where you hurt yourself. Just find out where you're at for the first 1 or 2 sessions, and then if you like doing the full body, because I have not done this myself, but this is what I'll be doing now, is actually training the full body. It's better to train the full body into sweating, you know, and maybe get worn out, and doing 2 or 3 hours training and get every muscle in your body. And also, this is how I do it. I do 1 set for each muscle group. So if you just keep on going until you've maxed it out. Like, just keep leg pressing, or keep, you know, bicep curling. Keep doing it. Keep doing the amount of weight that's required and the amount of reps that's required to get the muscle. I'd go through 3 different, this is what I'd do. I'd go a heavier one, so which is like heaviest. I'd go medium, which is about, you know, medium rep range, like 12 reps. And then I'd do something like maybe lighter, where you could do 20 reps or so, and you do it really slow. But you could just do a whole mixture of different weights, because that way your body's like, oh, I know he's only going to go heavy, so I shouldn't have to build any muscle for that. It's like, well, no, you're going heavy, you're going long, so you're doing many reps, and then you're doing medium reps. So the body's like, well, geez, I've got to have to build muscle, because I won't know what's happening. It's either going to be really heavy or really light and long, lots of reps, or mid-range. So I better just make sure that I can cope and build some muscle. So you make sure that, you know, when you start to modify this training style, you can go some more heavy for a while. So you go, I'm going to build more strength. So go heavy for maybe a little while, until you notice that you're getting really, really strong. You're like, well, now I'd like to have more athleticism or more muscular endurance. So then you'll be like, well, if you do kickboxing, or if you roll on a mat, you know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for example, or wrestling or judo, then you would have something that's more muscular endurance. So you're really strong and you're able to keep that strength the whole time. So maybe one day I'll show you how to do a muscular endurance training session. It's basically no rest, and you're training really heavy and lots of reps. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.